touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Hi, I'm April. I am a singer-songwriter and music teacher, and this video is a long time coming. I know you've all been waiting with bated breath, so today we are going to talk about choruses. So I have this list here of allegedly the greatest choruses written since the Beatles broke up. So I thought it would be fun to take a look at the top 5 songs on this list and see if we can figure out what makes them great, what makes people love them, what they might have in common, and how we can use them in our own songwriting. Keep in mind that this list is not representative by any means of all music listeners. It is super Western focused, and these aren't even necessarily my favorite choruses of all time. So it's completely okay if you hate all of these songs. Think of everything I say as a tool to add to your toolbox rather than something that you have to use in every song. Hopefully there'll still be some little nuggets of good information in there for you to use in your songwriting. Sweet Caroline, ba, ba, ba. Good times never seem so good. So good, so good, so good. I've been inclined, ba, 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 to believe they never would, but now So I really love this song. I think it is so much fun, and I love singing along to all of the little ba-ba-bas and doing all of the fun stuff. But what is it that makes this song as fun as it is? The first thing is the melodic build-up in the pre-chorus. The melody goes up the scale through that pre-chorus to get to our climactic chorus, which gives us this sense of forward momentum, like we're climbing up to get to something. The chorus also starts a full octave from where the verse started, which really adds to that top of the roller coaster feeling that we start to get in the chorus of this song. The second thing to notice with this song is that the pre-chorus ends on the dominant 7th of the chord, which really feels like it wants to go to the tonic or to that home chord. We've talked about this in a lot of videos, but it's definitely worth noting that one of the best things you can do to build tension and create a really epic chorus is to go from that dominant chord, that 5-7 chord, to the 1 chord, or to the tonic. The third thing to keep in mind with this song is that the lyrics are really simple and easy to understand. You know exactly what the main idea is just from hearing the chorus, which really is what a chorus should do from a lyric perspective, is just give us whatever the main idea is. So in this song, Caroline makes things good. So good. So good. You might also notice that Sweet Caroline and I've Been Inclined have exactly the same number of syllables, and they rhyme. They also have exactly the same melody. The second and fourth lines of the song also have exactly the same syllable count, and they rhyme, but the melody slightly changes toward the end so that it feels more like a call and a response. Okay, so now we can talk about the elephant in the room, which is of course the ba-ba-ba. The sheep in the room? The melody of this chorus spans nearly an octave. It is a really big range for a chorus, and because of that, it can be really difficult to sing. So this melody is not easy to sing by any means, but what's nice about this song is that there's a lot of space. The vocals aren't constantly going, which means there's a lot of room to add our own stuff. And of course, because, there are lots of people and also baseball teams who love and cherish and adore this song, it's got a bit of a folk culture around it, which has allowed for these fun little interjections to just show up over time. Since this chorus is not easy to sing at all, they allow the listener to have something to latch onto. They get to participate and feel like it's a call and response that they can be involved in. But she's touching his chest now. He takes off her dress now, letting me go. I just can't look, it's killing me, and taking control. Jealousy, turning saints into the sea, swimming through sick lullabies, choking on your Mr. Brightside is, I think, possibly my favorite song on this list, which might say a lot about me as a listener. But one of the things that I think is so special about this song is how visceral and evocative the lyrics are in the verse and in the pre-chorus, and specifically how much they draw us into the story. When he sings that his stomach is sick and it's all in his head, but she's touching his chest now. You can feel those lyrics. They're so intensely personal, but they're all things that we can visualize in our heads, which means that we are going to innately feel this human response to relate. And we're able to sit right in the action of this song. So by the time the chorus comes around, we have already strapped in for the ride and we're ready to go. When we get to the chorus, it gives us our main idea pretty clearly. But in the actual music, it gives us a lot of stepwise motion and repeating notes. It's a really simple melody and it revolves around a really tiny portion of this scale. But what makes it really interesting is that it actually starts on a note that's outside of the chord. Unlike a lot of songs, the tension doesn't just happen and then resolve when you get to the chorus. In this song, the tension is part of the chorus, and it's part of what makes the chorus so memorable. Every time we get to the tonic or the relative minor of this scale, we wind up starting on a melody note that's not actually in those chords, and then we resolve to a note that is in the chord. What this really does is it makes us crave that tonic. It makes us really want to hit that note straight on. So it isn't until the very last note of this chorus that we finally hear that home note falling on the home chord. And funnily enough, it happens exactly when he says the name of the song. I wonder if that's on purpose. This brings me to prosody. Something that makes this really exciting to me is that the lyrics of this chorus really match with what's happening in the music. Jealousy, sick, choking, alibi, price I pay. These are all phrases that we obviously associate with really negative phrases. But what's interesting is that he ends this entire chorus on the title, which is of course Mr. Brightside. So for someone who's so negative, to end this song on the phrase, I'm Mr. Brightside, is a really interesting decision. But what I love even more is that when you do finally hear, I'm Mr. Brightside, that's exactly when you're hearing that tension resolve. So it's like the entire chorus is giving you like bad news and scary stuff and terrible things with all of these notes that are kind of skirting around the chords that they're in. But when we actually finally hit the tonic, that's when we're Mr. Brightside. But you wanna be bad, so beat it, beat it. No one wants to be defeated. Showing how funky strong is your fight. It doesn't matter who's wrong or right. Just beat it, just beat it, just beat it, just beat it. So on the surface, Beat It looks really simple. There are only 2 chords in this entire chorus, the melody isn't super complicated, it doesn't go very many places, and the lyrics repeat a lot. Obviously things like instrumentation, production, and performance have a lot to do with it. But there are also some really great little songwriting tips that you can take from this song. The first thing is that hearing this phrase, beat it, over and over and over again is a really good thing. Because if you hear this song in the car and you're driving along and you really like this song, you're immediately going to know what the song is called, and it's going to be really easy to go home and look it up. It also makes the main idea extremely clear. You know exactly what this song is about just by hearing the chorus. It's also really easy to sing. There are a lot of repeated notes, there's stepwise motion, and again, it only uses 2 chords. Now, in my opinion, the thing that makes this song really special is the rhythm. There's something really cool happening in this song when it comes to rhythm. The first thing is that there's a lot of juxtaposition and variation in the rhythm in this chorus. In the beginning of it, you get these long beat it, beat it. But as the chorus goes on, you start to get a lot of these short little staccato notes. No one wants to be defeated. The other important rhythmic thing that's happening in the song that makes it so unique and interesting is the use of syncopation. Show and how funky strong is your fight. It doesn't matter who's wrong or right. The lyrics aren't trying to land on the downbeats specifically like a lot of other songs would, which means it's gonna catch your ear even if you don't really realize why. Since you've been gone, I can't breathe for the first time. I'm so moving on. So I looked at a few different lists of the greatest choruses ever, and this song was on like every single one of them. People love this song. And fun fact, I 100% literally called in and voted for Kelly Clarkson during the first season of American Idol, so you can like completely thank me specifically for like the fact that she's famous. You're welcome, Kelly. So this is another song that uses really simple language that anybody can understand and relate to, and it has a really clear main idea. The chorus is repetitive, it's easy to sing along to, and it has a small range. But this chorus does the same thing that Mr. Brightside does, which is that it starts on a non-chord tone. It also does this really cool thing where every time she holds out a big long note, the chords under it change, which is an awesome thing to take advantage of if you want to play around with tension. Using this technique is really fun because it means that your chords are revolving around your melody, as opposed to your melody moving around your chords. It's the same trick that gets used at the end of Music of the Night from Phantom of the Opera. Another thing I love about this song is that it has a really unexpected structure and rhyme scheme. We hear Since You've Been Gone, I Can Breathe for the First Time, I'm So Moving On, Yeah Yeah. And at this point, you expect to just hear Since You've Been Gone, because that's the name of the song, and that's usually where we hear the hook. We're used to hearing pop songs that either have 4 lines or 8 lines in the chorus, so hearing a song that doesn't fit those parameters is kind of a weird breath is kind of a nice breath of fresh air. Since You've Been Gone, I Can Breathe for the First Time, I'm So Moving On, Thanks to You, Now I Get What I Want, Since You've Been Gone. So we get this extra line in there. It adds a little shake up to what we're expecting, and we get a chord in there that we haven't heard yet in the chorus. And of course we do hear Since You've Been Gone again at the end of the chorus, resolving to our tonic. Oh, I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel the heat with somebody. Yeah, I wanna dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. This song is just so good. With somebody who loves me. This is another great example of a pre-chorus that ends on the dominant, which leads us right into that tonic because it sets up a lot of tension. After that, it's a super simple melody that revolves around only 5 notes. There's a lot of repetition and a lot of stepwise motion, but there is one spot in the chorus where we do get this little bit of jumpiness. This spot is really fun to focus in on because the word heat, I want to feel the heat with somebody, happens exactly in that spot where we hear the highest note of our chorus. And I love this because it really reflects the kind of sassiness in the lyrics. I want to feel the heat with somebody. But what's great about that is that when we sing that word heat and it's that highest note of the chorus, it immediately resolves right back down to the tonic. So she sings, I want to feel the heat in that really sassy way. But when she says with somebody, it grounds us. It brings us back to reality. And of course, this chorus ends with a very satisfying return to the tonic. So now, if you are still with me, we are finally going to talk about how to use all of this in your own songwriting. Number 1 is that one of the easiest ways to make your chorus pop is to end your pre-chorus or your verse with the dominant 7th chord, which is gonna really make us feel like we wanna go home to our tonic. You can also use a line cliche going up in order to create that feeling like we're going up and up and up and up a roller coaster, in order to finally fall into our chorus. If you really want to pack a punch for your listener and make them feel that catharsis of entering the chorus, make sure that you let your pre-chorus be an epic build-up for your chorus. You can also continue to build that tension into the chorus, and when you finally get to that beautiful epic tonic, it's gonna feel really relaxing and refreshing and cathartic for your listener. Number 2, express your main idea very clearly and with simple language. You've got tons of space in your verses and your pre-chorus and your bridge to create beautiful imagery and to show rather than tell. But in your chorus, just tell them. Give them the main idea, because this is the moment that you want your title of the song to happen. And it's also the part of the song that people are going to sing and repeat over and over, so you want them to be able to know exactly what your song is about right on the first listen. Number 3, repetition in your melody, your chords, and your lyrics is a really helpful tool. People like being able to sing along to stuff. It makes the listening experience that much better. You get to share it with your friends, or you get to sing it in the car or in the shower, and it's just an all-around great experience for a listener. So the best way to get people singing along to your song right away is to add a lot of repetition. You want this chorus to be super easy to memorize, so that the first time they're hearing it, they can already sing along. Lastly, use a small range, a lot of stepwise motion, and throw a big jump in there if you want to surprise your listener. Just make sure that all of these awesome musical choices you're making reflect what's happening in the lyrics. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, be sure to let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you're curious about how I'm doing in my 14-day lyric writing challenge. You can go follow me on Instagram, where I've been updating everybody with my song every day. I'll also be posting a follow-up video to that challenge next week, so make sure that you subscribe and ring the little bell to be notified the next time I post.